So one question that has come up here is, what types of projects should I do? Should I showcase on my portfolio? Let's say somebody's trying to get into software development. I think you touched on that a little bit, but what is your thought around that?
I think it's a vast question. First of all, of course, it depends on the kind of role that you're aiming also. For example, if you want to get into DevOps, right? So if you want to get into DevOps, maybe a project of a backend wouldn't really help you that much. A front end wouldn't help you that much. So first of all, be very clear around what is your interest. And to start with, I actually encourage people to just be SD. The software development engineer is sort of supposed to have knowledge of bits and pieces of everything. So full stack is the next way to go forward, right? So I think doing a project, I would say, one is the part of what you actually build, like how complex or simple it was, right? That is one aspect to it. But the second and more important aspect, I would say, is that focus on building it end to end, as in not just have it on your laptop. It's something that that should be there in the world of internet. So you should be able to deploy your product also. So build something which has a front end, which has a back end. You do deploy it on, let's say, Azure or Amazon Web Services. So I think you get an experience of how an entire software product is built end to end. And I think that's, and then you should have some kind of a web application link right there in your CV. That first has a very good impression on that. Okay, you know how the entire software is built. And then again, you can make it more complex or simple, like the way you want. That's the second part. But I think that's very much the first part we should focus on. That you should because many times I feel like people have a project on your CV, which is like a backend system, and they don't even know that how would it be used. So let's say I'm in an interview, I asked the interviewer, okay, how would it be used? So he just said, we have APIs. Now, an actual user will not actually use the APIs to, if you want your software to be functional, I think that should be an aim to build it end to end. And other than that, I think there are so many other ways you can get involved into open source. I think if you are a college grad, I think getting into open source projects is a very great opportunity. You get to understand how enterprise systems are built, how bugs are created, how you actually solve these bugs. This is the kind of life that a software engineer actually lives every day. So I think getting yourself exposed to open source projects at an early age is a big plus. And if you see something, if you have actually coded something into the open source, if you have that in your CV, it gives a very good impression to the interviewers, okay, that he or she is really interested in software engineering. So I think get yourself involved into open source projects is sort of the key. I think there is also an internship from Google itself called GSOC or something like that. I think that's the very great way you can get reimbursed also for getting into open source projects. So yeah, I think these are stuff that I would say at the very top if you get into these things.
Great. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Definitely put up anything that you're creating, put it up online. At the very least, put the code on GitHub, document it, but also deploy it, include the link in the CV. Great. Okay, one other question that has come up relevant to the discussion we were having earlier, which is, while picking up a domain or technology, what should you think about, the present or the future?
Don't think too much also. We sometimes put a lot of thought into what tech stack it should be. I mean, it's that, I'll take my example, right? In my college, I always worked on C++ mostly. I love C++. And obviously I was misunderstood also that C++ is not really used in the actual world, not to that extent. So I think once I joined, I had to learn more about Java and other technologies. And as an SD1, I think they're not so much obsessed about the tech stack also. Again, it also depends that which kind of a firm you are aiming for. Let's say if you're aiming for a big tech company, because big tech companies have their own proprietary systems, that even if, let's say, you are equipped with React, their React will not be similar to the React that you use outside. That they have so many frameworks, libraries built on top of it, that anyway, it will take some time for you to learn all that stuff. So as I mentioned, the first thing is you should know to build something, because the languages, the tech stacks may be different, but the concepts remain exactly same. How you scale that, how you deploy that, how you build that, all the patterns, more or less, they are similar in all the languages. So whatever you like it and love it, don't just feel that because it's not there in the world right now, let's not get involved with it. It's not the future. In the future, you can learn, because let's say if you feel right now, maybe let's say React is the future. 7 years back, I think Angular was more popular, right? So things in technology change very swiftly. You never know, 5 years down the line, you have a chat GPT who has learned entire React and Reactors are not required anymore. I'm just cracking a joke, but you never know what future holds, right? Don't be so obsessed about the technology. Be obsessed about building a software product and understanding end to end, that how to scale it, how to make it secure, everything, these small things that sometimes we don't focus on. That tech stack. Of course, you're starting out, as I mentioned earlier, React JS, JavaScript in general is something I would say, if you're just starting your first year, you want to learn something, start with it. It will equip you with more tools to build a lot of products. But if, let's say, you have got into Python or Java, it's not that you'll be jobless or something. Don't worry too much. Whatever one skill that you like, be a master at it. That should be the bottom line.
Yeah, like keep building and keep learning the essential skills of software development. Yeah, great.